let us go ahead and look at this article I pulled up, and NJ Diver also pulled up one from the Chicago Tribune that we'll look at too, that deals with this, since what was it, Johnny No Name there did the super chat for us to cover this, which, yeah, I feel obligated to cover it since he paid $5 for that. No, sorry, Shane Birchie. Sorry, had to double check there. All right. Illinois towns bans assault weapons, imposes fine up to $1,000 a day. The village of Deerfield, northern Illinois, has passed a ban on assault weapons, but it affects more than just sales and manufacturing. If the 18,000 residents of the Chicago suburb don't forfeit or secure weapons that fall under the ban by June 13th, they will be charged from $200 a day to $1,000 a day as a penalty. According to the ordinance, which the Village Board of Trustees unanimously approved Monday night, it is unlawful for a person to carry, keep, bear, transport, or possess an assault weapon in the village, except if the weapon is broken down and in non-functioning state, is not immediately accessible to any person, or is unloaded and enclosed in a case firearm carrying box or shipping box for other container by a person who has been issued a currently valid firearm owner's identification card. Papers, please. I'm gonna actually click on this link here real fast and see, is this like the actual ordinance? Does it? Okay, the agenda, proclamation. I want to know, what do they describe as an assault weapon?
Probably anything that's not propelled by a rubber band.
Let's see, felony. Stated. Okay. States the. Okay, this is their discussion. There's 89 mentions of assault. Okay, these are the minutes. Come on, you gotta have. Assault weapons. That was. Oops, I misspelled that. Let's see if I can.
It's not a spitball gun or a rubber band gun as an assault weapon. I'm pretty
much.
sure that's what they're gonna say.
Okay, back this up. Okay, that's a letter. That's a letter. Letter. Okay, please go ahead.
I've seen idiotic anti-gun legislation where they've actually thrown in barrel shrouds as something to be scared of. It's a freaking dust cover. It's a freaking dust cover to keep dirt from falling in your barrel. But like, I've seen that as a, you know, part of a ban list of stuff. It's just incredible.
Okay, so okay, yeah, we got some definitions, and yeah, what is it? The Oregon one is pretty idiotic itself. Okay, definitions of assault weapon. The following words, terms, and phrases, when used in this article, shall have a meaning ascribed to them in the section, except where context clearly indicates a different meaning. Assault weapons means semi-automatic rifle that has a capacity to accept a large capacity magazine, detachable or otherwise, and one or more of the following: only a pistol grip without stock attached, any feature capable of functioning as a protruding grip that can be held by a non-trigger hand, a folding telescoping or a thumbhole stock, a shroud attached to the barrel, or a partially completely encircled barrel allowing the bearer to hold the firearm with a non-trigger hand without being burned, but excluding the slide to enclose the barrel, or a muzzle brake or muzzle compensator. This is what? There's your shroud thing right there. What the fuck?
Right. They don't want dust covers on your weapon, apparently. They don't want your weapon to not be allowed to have dust go into it, you know?
This is, I mean, this even if this is a hunting rifle too, right here. I mean, mini hunting rifle. You could put handguns on this.
Well, yeah, there's certain handguns like that. But look, anything that could accept a large capacity magazine, that's every hunting rifle. You know?
Yeah.
Like, every rifle can accept a large capacity magazine. Like, you know, that's just insane. This is a longer piece of metal with a longer spring that feeds more bullets into the freaking weapon.
I mean, I could sit there and 3D prints. If there doesn't exist one, I can make. I just go and download AutoCAD. I get a 3D printer. I come up with the design, walk down to the workshop thing that has 3D printers and pay $25 a month, and then the materials, and use their 3D printer to make myself a freaking magazine. There we go.
You know, technologically, we're on the cusp of being able to do 3D printing with metal. When that happens, all bets are off the table. If there is a large-scale weapons ban, you can bet your ass. You can bet anything you want that organized criminals will have factories set up where they're banging out, you know, semi-automatic or automatic rifles like nobody's business, and they're untraceable. They'll have no serial numbers, you know, and they'll be very, very expensive, meaning that these organized criminals that are providing these assault weapons, these automatic rifles, will be made hyper rich in a very short period of time, making them even more dangerous. So if you want to live in a more dangerous society, go ahead and keep pushing for prohibition of firearms.
Oh, it gets worse. 2, a semi-automatic rifle that has a fixed magazine that has a capacity to accept more than 10 rounds of ammunition. So, even if it doesn't have a magazine attachment like my Mosin Nagant does, and I think my Mosin Nagant might be able to surpass 10 rounds getting shoved into it, it would be a violation of this. Or wait, no, I don't, my Mosin Nagant I think is actually bolt action. So, thank goodness that might not, because it's bolt action if I remember correctly. I don't have it with me, so I can't really look. Number 3.
Just really,
go ahead.
Really dumb and short-sighted, and people don't think of the consequences of the actions of these prohibitions. All they're really doing is disarming, you know, peaceful people and setting up a situation to where only the government and criminals have weapons.
Yeah, I mean, if you want a good example of where gun banning has not worked, I mean, go look at Southside Chicago. There you go.
There's someone in my chat room right now from Chicago, actually, and they're listening.
All right. Now it gets better. Number 3. A semi-automatic pistol that has a capacity to accept a detachable magazine and has one or more of the following. Any feature capable of functioning as a protruding grip that can be held by a non-trigger hand. A folding telescope or thumb stock. A shroud attached to the barrel or partially or completely encircles the barrel, allowing the bearer to hold the firearm with a non-trigger hand without being burned, excluding the slide that encloses the barrel. The capacity to accept a detachable magazine at some location outside the pistol grip. Okay, D. Okay, detachable magazine. Are you referring to having an extended magazine or clip that goes into the bottom of the gun there? Huh? Because in a way, I could see this easily applying to just a standard one. Oh, it gets better. 4. Semi-automatic shotgun that has one or more of the following. Only a pistol grip without stock attached. B. Any feature capable of functioning as a protruding grip held by the non-trigger hand.
Oh man, they're what my dreams of an AA.
Oh yeah, that shotgun, man. That is a pretty kick-ass shotgun. C. A folding telescoping or thumb hole stock. D. A fixed magazine capacity exceeding 5 rounds or an acceptability of an accept a detachable magazine. Well, there's another one against it, and of course I've seen let's see, a fixed magazine capacity. I've seen shotguns able to accept more than 5 rounds easy. Well, pump shotguns and stuff like that. Better yet. Number 5. Any shotgun with a revolving cylinder. Oh, so those handguns that shoot shotgun rounds would also be banned with this law. Those that fire, what was it? I think it was 18 gauge or something like that. The really small shotgun rounds.
Mm-hmm.
I have a relative that actually owns one of those.
And a shotgun that could accept that. That means it just has a receiver or a port that accepts it. So it doesn't have to be that kind of, you know, that's ridiculous. All shotguns can accept that kind of. I'm pretty sure there's like an attachment you can buy on eBay or whatever and order it and just attach it to your whatever shotgun you have.
Yeah, this is quite the interesting definition. Okay, number 6, a conversion kit, a part or a combination of parts from which an assault weapon can be assembled if those parts are in possession or under control of the same person.
Yeah, that's. I like how the article goes over what I mentioned right before.
I went and pulled up the exact ordinance. They had a link to it, and I'm looking at the ordinance itself.
Yeah, the actual law. I get you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Number 7 shall include, but not limited to, the assault weapon models identified as follows: AK, AKM, AKS, AK-47, AK-74, ARM, MAC-90, MISR, NHM-90, NHM-91, SA-85, SA-93, VEPR, AR-10, AR-15, Bushmaster 15, XM-15, Armlight M15, or Olympic ARM PCR, AR-70, Silico Liberty, Dragunov SVD Sniper Rifle, or Dragunov SVU,
And a
Fabric. Oh, we haven't hit it all. We're not even a quarter through the list. Fabric National, FNL FAL, FNL LAR, or FNC, High Point Carbine, HK91, HK93, HK94, HKPSG1, Keltec Sub Rifle, Saiga, SAR-8, SAR-480, 4800, SKS with detachable magazine, SLG-95, SLR-95 or 96, Steyr AUG, Storm Ruger Mini 14, Trove, Thompson 1927, Thompson M1, Thompson 1927, Commando, or Uzi, Galley, and Uzi Supporter, Galley Supporter, or Galley Sniper Rifle, Gauts. And the following pistol copies, duplicates therefore of, are not designed to be held and fired by a single use of hand: Calico M110, MAC-10, MAC-11, MPA-3, Olympic Firearms OA, Tech-9, Tech DC-9, Tech-22, Scorpion, or AB-10, or Uzi. The following shotguns copies therefore of duplicate: Arm Score 30BG, SPS 12, or Law 12, Striker 12, or Street Sweeper. And that's the list that they give.
Oh, there's no weapon ban. There's just a weapon ban.
Assault weapons. Go ahead.
It's in these anti-gun nutters will look you right in the face and goes, "I don't want to prohibit firearm ownership." Yet when you look at the actual laws, it's like this huge list of stuff that they want to ban. Like, oh, but I'm not very smart, and I allow talking heads to tell me what to think. Like the March for Our Lives in, you know, in DC, it was basically like one of the herds from The Walking Dead just coming through. This unthinking mass of reactionary idiots that are just kind of staggering along. You know, they have a few talking points put in their head, and they showed them a couple pictures of some stuff that triggered them, and they're like, "I'm triggered. I'm ready for my input. Here, just input tyranny here, and I'll walk in the street and scream about how I want you to take my rights." Like, it's so disturbing. These people's psychology is so disturbing. It would be helpful if they would actually do like bunny boots in myself and, you know, the people that haven't lost their minds in America, and actually fucking read. Read, people. Reading is fundamental. That's an anarchist fucking public service announcement. Read.
Okay. Assault weapons does not include any firearm that has been made permanently inoperable or satisfies the definition of antique. They put a line through firearm, and they changed the handgun. Stated in this code, or weapons designed for Olympic target shooting events. Detachable magazines means magazine means any ammunition feeding device or function of which is to deliver one or more ammunition cartridges into the firing chamber, which can be removed from the firearm without any use of a tool, including bullet or ammunition cartridge. Oh, we finally got to large capacity magazine definition, which means by any ammunition feeding device with capacity to accept more than 10 rounds shall not be construed as the following: a feeding device that has been permanently altered so it cannot accommodate more than 10 rounds, a 22 caliber tube ammunition feeding device, a tubular magazine that is contained in a lever action firearm. Oh man, these definitions. So a 22 caliber rifle is able to have a tube ammunition feeding. Oh wait, no, sorry, it shall be construed to include the following. So these are in the included part. Okay,
my favorite part was also muzzle brake. Like, I'm not a gun guy. You have military training. Tell me if I got this correct or not, because I'm a camera person. You know, I've only owned a few guns my whole life. But isn't a muzzle brake like a specific little divot or cut in the barrel so it doesn't it diminishes recoil a little bit, right? Isn't that what it's for?
Speaking of muzzle brake, that is the next definition we're about to read off. Muzzle brake means a device attached to the muzzle of a weapon that utilizes escaping gas to reduce recoil.
Okay, so yeah, it's basically just at the end of the barrel, there's like a little divot that's cut in it, and it allows you to fire the weapon more accurately. And that's an assault rifle. You know, wow, that's crazy.
Well, the thing is that helps for like hunting and stuff like that, because
it helps you shoot straight.
Yeah, well, as that bullet is still traveling down that muzzle, you're still having to for that split a fraction of a second, you still have to maintain proper control of it. And then when it does leave, you don't want to be kicked on your butt or have someone kicked on their butt if it's a high powered enough rifle to where they're going to end up accidentally aiming it in someone else's direction.
Yeah, I'm proud of myself because I remembered that. Like, you know, I have to share with the audience one of my my biggest F-ups on my YouTube channel. When Michael Strickland was being arrested, he was this fellow that was arrested with a bunch of trumped up charges for aiming a weapon at a bunch of protesters a couple years back. I was describing to the officers what I saw, and I referred to his magazine as a clip. And, you know, there's like 2 million people have watched that video so far, maybe 3 million. So there's me making, you know, retarded rookie gun mistakes in front of, you know, 2 million viewers. So that's awesome. You know, if you're gonna mess up, Bunny, mess up big. Don't, you know, go big or go home, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got to do something to end up on livestream fails or something like that, or something. Yeah. Muzzle compensator means the device attached to the muzzle of the weapon that utilizes escaping gas to control muzzle movement. Yeah, let's see here. Safe storage of assault weapons exceptions. It shall be unlawful to possess, bear, manufacture, sell, transfer, or transport, store, or keep any assault weapon in the village. And then they crossed out a bunch of stuff for a provision. The provision of this section excludes those pertaining to the manufacture or sale of any assault weapon in the village. Does not apply to any law enforcement officer, agent, or employee or municipality of the state of Illinois, or any law enforcement officer, agent, agent or employee of the state of Illinois or the United States, or any other state, any member of the military or service of any other of any state or the United States, including National Guard and Reserve, if possessed, if persons described are authorized by the competent authority. Thank you for describe. Competent authority to so carry an assault weapon loaded on public way in which such a person is acting within the scope of duties or training. And adding on further law enforcement stuff. Okay, transportation of assault weapons exceptions. It is unlawful and a violation of this section for any person to carry, keep, bear, or transport or possess an assault weapon in the village, except when this section does not apply or affect transportation of assault weapons that meet one of the following conditions: are broken down in a non-functioning state, and are not immediately accessible to any person, or are unloaded in an enclosed case, a firearm carrying box, a shipping box, or any other container by a person who has been issued a currently valid firearms ownership identification card. Papers, please.
Do you have your papers? Your papers, please.
That reminds me, I need to sit down and play Papers, Please on my live stream drama channel. I gotta buy that game and play it one of these days. Just so I could be the authoritarian asshole that says, no, you cannot come in. You are denied.
I'm looking forward to the new Wolfenstein, Castle Wolfenstein game, because I want to kill Nazis. And in the Wolfenstein game, you get to kill lots and lots and lots of Nazis. So that's great.
Oh, did you know that game is censored as hell over in Germany?
Oh, of course it is, because they're so politically correct about their hate speech and anti-Nazi laws that you can't display a swastika. You can't, even in a video game. So in a video game that's all the fun is derived from killing Nazis, you can't show Nazis being killed because, you know, that's just insightful and it's evil, and like it's just ridiculous. I mean, of all the things to censor, I mean, let me kill my digital Nazis, you bastards.
Okay, so now this is quite the interesting part. Now we're getting into the technical aspects. Okay, penalty. Any person who is found to have violated this article shall be fined not less than $250, not more than $1,000 for each day, and separate offense shall be deemed committed on each day during or on which the violation occurs or continues. Every person convicted of any violation under this article shall, in addition to any penalty, provide in this code, forfeit to the village any assault weapon. And then this is what you're supposed to do if you legally own one and now it's made illegal. Any person prior to the effective date of this ordinance number was legally in possession of an assault weapon or large capacity magazine prohibited by this article shall have 60 days from the effective date of this ordinance to do any of the following without being subject to persecution or horinder, or however you pronounce that. A. Remove, sell, transfer the assault weapon or large capacity magazine from within the city limits of the village. B. Modify the assault weapon or large capacity magazine to either render it permanently inoperable or permanently make the device no longer defined as an assault weapon or large capacity magazine, or surrender the assault weapon or large capacity magazine to the chief of police or his or her designee for disposal as approved under section 1591 of this article. I wonder, what are they going to do with this? What are they going to sell them? That's a good question. Let's go ahead and look for. Go ahead.
They're allowed. Law enforcement is allowed to have all these.
Yes.
So they're probably going. Look, I could totally see the federal government modifying, the 1033 program that allows, local municipalities to get free military surplus just given to them. IR rifles, bayonets, IR scopes, all kinds of fun toys. But I could totally see them modifying 1033 to where they could just have the surplus seized weapons.
Oh,
just give it. They'll probably arm their SWAT teams with it. Their CERT teams and their SRT, their HRT teams, the hostage rescue teams, all that stuff. Will just get all these. I'm pretty sure that's what they'd do if they succeeded with this tyranny.
Okay, well, here comes the actual destruction part. 1591. The chief of police or her designee shall have the power to confiscate any assault weapon of any person charged with a violation under this article. The chief of police shall cause to be destroyed each assault weapon or large capacity magazine surrendered or confiscated pursuant of this article, provided, however, that the assault weapon or large capacity magazine shall be destroyed until such time chief of police determines the assault weapon or large capacity magazine is not needed and as evidence in any matter. The chief of police shall cause to be kept a record of date and method of destruction of each assault weapon or large capacity magazine destroyed pursuant to this article. I'm wondering, is destruction meaning maybe parting out and throwing it out or something like that? Or still, this is very vague on how it is. And I remember a story, I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago, where it came out that a police department was faking the records for destruction of these firearms and was actually reselling them to other dealers and stuff like that in order to pull in
a few times.
Yeah.
I've seen multiple news stories about that over the years.
And so this, and as is this being near Chicago, a city that is known for its corruption, I could see this easily happening with this township.
Oh, sure. Chicago is demonstrably corrupt. When I was in Chicago for the NATO summit, I think it was 2008, I think. I don't remember the year. I've done way too much activism. But the police there were just frighteningly violent and corrupt. The stories I heard people tell me that live there is just, yeah, Chicago, the cops may as well be an organized crime syndicate. And that's no joke, you know.
Okay. Section 4. If any section of this paragraph, clause, provisions, or ordinance shall be held invalid, the invalidity of such section, paragraph, clause, or provision shall not affect any other provision of this ordinance. Okay, do I need to translate that for the general crowd of what that means?
Oh, do and rub a little sarcasm on it.
It says that, okay, if the magazine portion is actually deemed illegal by the courts, the only part that will be deemed illegal with this law is that magazine section, or a specific subsection like how this stuff is destroyed. If it's deemed invalid, only that part will be invalid, not the entire ordinance. They're trying to say that it's only going to affect that one part. It's sort of like we're trying to put on, the bulkheads on it in order to reduce the flooding of a potential flood within the ship. And I'm sitting here laughing. Yeah, if this gets taken to court, it's all fucking going. This is not going to hold up. Oh man, this is just
it will hold up long enough to confiscate, you know, thousands of weapons and jail hundreds and hundreds of people and get their lives ruined. But then one of those people will take them into the courts and sue the shit out of them.
Oh, okay. And here's even better. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect upon its passage and approval, and shall subsequently be published in a pamphlet form as provided by law. So once this passed, it was immediately in effect, and people have 60 days to get their damn firearms out of town. That pretty much ends me reading the ordinance itself. We actually looked at the ordinance because they gave me a direct link. Thank you, Illinois. Let's see if there's. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, just from my chat room, Desert Sentinel's saying that in California, when they destroyed the rifles, they turn them into rebar and use them for construction material.
I feel that as sort of valid, but then again, I don't think that's a good way of reusing it, because rebar... Well, I guess rebar is usually junk metal. I'd be a little bit cautious on using it in that kind of construction or whatever. I can see it maybe being used... If there's some quality control in the smelting process, then yeah. Yeah, hopefully they do. If they're confiscating them and destroying them, destroying them appropriately. But we all know that some of those firearms are going to go out from, obviously, nudge, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, yet it was destroyed, you keep it, just make sure no one knows about it, blah, blah, blah. Make sure to file off that serial number.
Yeah, the stench of the corruption has gotten to the point to where your average person is starting to want to throw up. And that's kind of good, because there may be some resistance, finally. And I want to see, broad, nonpartisan resistance to some of this usurpation of our rights. It has to be nonpartisan. I mean, when you get your soccer mom and your right-wing militia guy on the same page, I mean, that's going to be a beautiful thing. And it's going to happen,
Ooh, okay, so there's some interesting commentary that comes place in this article. The ordinance makes specific reference to the recent mass shooting in Parkland, Florida, Las Vegas, and Southland Springs, Texas. In quotes, assault weapons have been increasingly used in alarming number of notorious mass shooting incidents at public places, public venues, places of worship, and places of accommodation. The ordinance reads, the authors of the legislation claim the law may increase the public's sense of safety, notwithstanding potential objection regarding the availability of alternative weaponry or the enforceability of such a ban. Objections have come in spades. On Thursday morning, the Illinois State Rifle Association announced that announced it and the Second Amendment Foundation had jointly filed lawsuits against the village of Deerfield. They are blatantly violating state law and are violating the Second Amendment, said Richard Pearson, executive director of the Illinois State Rifle Association. He said the ISRA has been receiving waves of calls from people upset over the ban and confident the ISRA legal challenge will prevail. The penalties are just draconian, he says. A lady or a guy who owns a large capacity magazine or anything like that could owe thousands of dollars, and if they cross the thin, almost invisible line between municipalities, they could be considered a criminal. The NRA is supporting a similar lawsuit filed by gun advocacy group Gun Save Life. Every law-abiding villager of Deerfield has a right to protect themselves, their homes, their loved ones, and with the firearms that best suit their needs. Chris Cox, executive director of the NRA Lobbying Arm, said in a statement. The term assault weapon is in itself highly contentious, and no discussion of such a ban would be complete without some clarification. Since the expiration of federal assault weapons ban in 2004, there hasn't been any official definition for the term. It is often dismissed by gun rights advocates for its imprecision in describing what exactly is an assault weapon and what an assault weapon is or isn't. A common NRA talking point states an assault weapon should be defined as any weapon used in an assault, whether it be a gun, knife, or otherwise. Deerfield Ordinance sets its own extensive definition of terms. In short, it's a variation of assault weapon is a semi-automatic rifle with a capacity to accept large capacity magazines, detachable or otherwise. There are other aspects, including rifle additions and types of magazines. As defined by the village, the term also includes semi-automatic pistols, semi-automatic shotguns, conversion kits, and any shotgun with a revolving cylinder. So, as is, the assault rifles ban, that also covers pistols and shotguns. Yeah, it's a too broad of a freaking ban. It should be a weapons ban.
That's what they love. They love these super broad definitions because they want to be able to say with a straight face that they're not for a outright ban, but they want to get as many weapons as possible out of the hands of law-abiding citizens that have hurt no one.
And apparently there was a shooting at a high school that they referred to. Let's see, Douglas. Oh, okay, never mind. That's over at the Parkland.
You know what I want to see, Bunny?
What?
I want to see a computer-generated image of a gun-free zone sign with blood just splattered all over it. Because it's basically like a all-you-can, attention freak sandwich for these mentally deranged people. They're like, oh, where do I go? Do I go to a gun store? Or do I go to a rural concert? No, there's too many people concealed carrying there. I know, I'll go to a school or a shopping mall or a movie theater where there's this big sign that says no weapons and we can put you in jail if you show up with them. Yeah, brilliant. But yeah, I need that image. I need a gun-free zone with blood splattered all over it because, it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
I would say they also refer to the Pulse nightclub shooting in another article with the Chicago Tribune. So, yeah, that's quite interesting. How's that interview upload coming? Or did you forget about that?
We're screwed for that interview. It's saying it's going to take another hour before